Alright guys, today we're going to prove that tomorrow, Yusuke will beat Ichigo in the death battle. And so, we will cover both, will Ichigo actually beat Yusuke? Nah, I'd win. I beg to differ. Will Yusuke only be truck level? I'm sorry, but a truck is already kind of like, I don't know, wall level, so we'll just assume that. And I'm going to be basing my information off of versus battle and the stuff I see off of these videos. I'm in a room that is actually sub-zero temperatures right now, so yeah, that is what we're working with. And it's going down to -1 tonight, where I'm at. -1. And for where I'm at, I'm not really used to those temperatures. This is going to suck. Yeah, I live in the northern hemisphere, but we normally don't get negative temperatures. So this sucks right now. But that being said, we're gonna react to these videos. Yusuke, Ichigo versus Yusuke is tomorrow at 1 p.m. And I'm going to react to the actual death battle and the results afterwards. Today, though, we're just going to react to the coverage of these two characters today, which I won't react to tomorrow because I'm going to go over a lot today. And there's a reason I like Yusuke way more than Ichigo, and more so anyone over Bleach. Matter of fact, I like Naruto characters because I grew up on Naruto before I ever wanted to watch Bleach, and people say I have like Bankai and stuff like that. This is to you Discord people that say I have like Bankai and shit like that. I'm sorry, that's not how I survive things. I survive things because I use finger guns, okay? Well, let's see what we got here. Also, I like Hiei versus Sasuke. Hiei absolutely obliterates Sasuke. I mean, defeat, I'll go over that later. Here we go.
Tell me, Boomstick, what happens when we die? Endless nothingness? Jeez, man, I don't know. We just
You're banished to the spirit realm and you become half human, half demon.
Our souls are ferried by Shinigami, gods of death, in an eternal cycle
Ryatsu
of death and rebirth.
That was my second guess.
And when a soul goes astray, warped by evil and regret, it's a Shinigami's job to purify such violent hollows.
Sorry, Bleach is so overrated. There's so many Shinigamis, so many Ryatsus, so many Bankais out there, so many people screaming this shit.
Send them off to the realm of the dead, the Soul Society.
Works great till it doesn't. Enter Ichigo Kurosaki, whose tragic enemy backstory came
Well, I'm not gonna lie, is defeating people or going up against people like Aizen, who's powered by literal Yahweh, which is literal God's wrath. I don't even know if that's actually actual, like, again, I'm not really into the whole story, but like just seeing who he's going up against, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Hollows. If he's going up against someone like that, I mean, at the very end, and there's so many versions of this guy because people just overhype this character so much, and there's so much story. Yeah, he goes against Final Fusion Aizen, who's powered by freaking Yahweh, and Yahweh, I mean, by name alone is like Yahweh, which is literal God's wrath. That's pretty broken. I mean, I give it them.
too early when his mom was killed by a hollow. Reason number one why you should never want your kid to be the anime protagonist.
Left with his grief, young Ichigo was crushed under the weight of survivor's guilt.
So he lashed out the only way he knew how, beating people up.
But this wound began to heal when he found his calling, upon meeting a Shinigami named Rukia. To stop a powerful hollow, she gave Ichigo her powers, rousing unseen potential within.
Boom! Just like that, Ichigo's a Shinigami.
Substitute Shinigami. To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called Reishi. He can wield vast amounts of spiritual energy called Ryoku, and exert it offensively in the form of spiritual pressure, or Ryatsu.
Yatsu, there it is. I didn't really know the whole way he got it, I thought for sure he just kind of trained himself because he died or something, but he got it from a Esper like chick that kind of gave him this stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of shit he's pulling out of his ass here and there and doing. And I read up on his like time skip stuff. I read up on like all of the stuff that they have on versus battle, and there's so many things in his combat arsenal. His package is just ugh. It's just like I read a freaking novel trying to figure out this guy. Um, but I feel like there's just a way his powers just get stripped since he just has like he can do a flash, he can do the basically Zangatsu just powers for his sword and his just durability, which is the Ryatsu. Well, Ryatsu is his like sort of his key. He's powering himself. The Bankai is the it's just the way he kind of well being a hollow is how his immortality works, but his Bankai is like his freaking Kaioken, basically. Like, he's just powering that shit endlessly. But, guy with sword versus guy with finger gun. I mean, finger gun all the way. I'm sorry, man. He has to give for all these different forms to, like, truly be himself. Like, his true potential. I feel like, at base, at beginning, Ichigo is weaker. And we'll touch upon this. I mean, hey, well, Yusuke is. It seems like he was weaker. Jesus, they really downplay this guy, but like, it takes so much Bankai and Getsugu and put it all in him to make him so strong.
Okay, that's a lot of big words, but all it really means is he's a super-powered ghost with an epic sword. His spirit aura is so strong, he can stun lock foes, crushing them under his own power, even fatally.
And I like that. I have a character myself that I made, and one of the elements is that I based it off of real life moments. So there was a time where I was at the hospital, and I basically saw the heart rate monitor flatline, and I was just looking at it. In confusion as to why it was happening, and I based it off of like a real life. So my character is basically just like the character is born dead essentially, and it just keeps living. And that's kind of like the whole aspect. I may have pulled that from Ichigo, but I think I pulled aspects of my character just from villains I watched on TV and stuff like that, but in more of like a heroic sense. So it's like an anti-hero thing. Wigs. And it runs on Wig's power. And I'll get in touch on that when I go into Yusuke.
Controls spirit matter in and around him, hardening his skin for defense and leaping off of invisible footholds in the air. Paired with speed-boosting skills like Shunpo, he can virtually fly.
Say goodbye to the kid who beat up bullies for their lunch money.
Jumping, like jumping off invisible floors to double jump.
And hello to the town's new superhero, with fellow Ghostbusters, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu. Plus Rukia, it was the Shinigami's job to tear Hollows a new hole.
While balancing responsibilities at school, of course. GPA comes first, and maybe a round or two of tech.
But it wouldn't be possible without his Shinigami blade, a Zanpakuto. It's basically a superpowered spirit that's physically a sword. Ghost Sword!
Though strangely, Ichigo's sword is composed of two distinct spirits, both named Zangetsu, which isn't confusing at all.
Just call him Old Man Zangetsu and Hollow Zangetsu. Anyway, the double Ghost Sword gives Ichigo lots of new moves.
Kind of looks like the Yowich guy, but the guy's with the long hair. Man, and he gives him like all this, like yin and yang. Like he balances this, basically gets more potential to his moves. It's all this empowerment stuff, and really, can we ask for help from Zangetsu in the battle? I mean, I feel like we should just have them. See, the difference with Ichigo is he has to get all these things to obtain his powers. I think Yusuke has a bit of like demon empowerment as well. Like he gets, but I feel like mostly he's getting all of this power he's channeling by himself, and he's more, and he's younger too. This is why I mess with Yusuke. You know, he's just a young man who's figuring his stuff out very quickly and losing to some characters. But this guy can be a One Punch Man character. Like, you know, he's got his ways of figuring out how to beat someone's ass, dude. And he's, you know, we'll get in touch with this.
Including his trademark
Yu
attack,
Hakusho
the
beats.
sword beam to end all sword beams, Getsuga Tensho!
Getsuga Tensho is incredibly powerful, and so effective that Ichigo developed multiple variants. He can fire it as a wave, detonate it mid-attack to act as a barrier, and combine two at once into the even stronger Getsuga Jujisho.
To cut
But he
even
listens to Jinchuriki, Nine-Tailed Beast, Naruto, because Naruto feats are ridiculous and are world-shattering.
the biggest hollows down to size, Ichigo was ridiculously strong, even from frame 1.
He can make giant shockwaves and parry spiritual light beams from a Menos Grande.
That means less big for any of you.
He's just got a freaking solar smash like a individual. Naruto's got a, you know, world-shattering power on his side. That chakra's just built different, man. I'm sorry. Chakra's greater than the Force. It's just how it is, man.
You non-Spanish speakers in the audience.
You speak Spanish?
No!
Well, good thing we already have
And
Spanish
that's the
boomstick
end
in
of
our
the-
Spanish dubs.
Ah, mierda!
Yeah, he's not gonna stop this.
And they got
anytime soon.
Simone
All right,
versus
come
Kyle,
back
one of
next
my
week as
favorite
we
death
cover
battles.
Ichigo's opponent, Yusuke Urameshi.
Obviously,
Adios.
Gurren Lagann's unbeatable anime. And then Ash versus Yugi, which was a good send-off for the last season. Obviously, Yugi won that one. You know, Yugi's got the Egyptian gods on his side. Ash has a wannabe god, which is Arceus, and really could just beat that. He's not a creation trio. You guys don't know that. Here goes Yusuke.
Most teenagers have no idea what they want to do with their life. However, that was hardly a problem for juvenile delinquent Yusuke Urameshi,
Let's
because he
go!
only ever wanted to do one thing.
Throw hands! It don't matter who the ups are, be they women,
This is
old
my
folk,
winner.
or babies. Yusuke lived to fight. It's
He has
what gave
more-
life meaning.
he's
Who
been
cares
around
about
longer.
stupid things like friends and family?
Which is why it was
And he's
so
still
surprising
18.
when one day he threw himself in front of a speeding car to save a child,
My
bringing
God.
that reckless life to a
He's-
screeching halt.
Truck
Doesn't matter.
Goon claims another victim.
But this is child.
But I took this element from Yu Yu Hakusho, man. I took that. That's where I got my inspiration. The already dead factor. Come on, and that's one. And then
One of a
get to
battle
the second
shonen, so
point.
death is hardly the end.
Surprisingly, though, it wasn't a spooky skeleton in a hood who arrived to claim Yusuke's soul. It was a blue-haired anime girl on a broomstick.
that's right.
This was Botan, whose job was to
My Drew Bullocks.
ferry Yusuke's newly deceased spirit off to the afterlife.
Unfortunately, or I guess
Me
fortunately,
and Drew Bullocks are undead spirits here to guide you. Don't ask.
for him, he was such an asshole that the underworld didn't see his selfless death coming and
My
didn't have any
God.
space prepared for him. Imagine being such a menace to society that the
limbo.
second you do something nice,
Purgatory.
hell itself gets caught with his pants down.
So the underworld
My
circuit king,
God.
Koenma, offered
They
Yusuke
said,
an
oh, he's a
alternative. He could
doomslayer.
return to life as an
Oh,
agent
no.
of the afterlife, a spirit detective, solving supernatural crimes and fighting off demonic threats to humanity.
Naturally, Yusuke did what anyone would do in that situation. Then told Satan Jr. to stuff it. I mean, he was never really good for anything, and no one was gonna miss him. So what's the point of coming back to life? It's not like his mom would be sad,
It's
or his
fine, I
childhood
don't need
sweetheart
a more
Keiko would be
powerful
heartbroken, or even his rival Kuwabara would shed family tears. Oh man.
Bring
At
up
the
the
sight of
fingers.
loved ones who cared far more than he ever expected, Yusuke had a change of heart and accepted Koenma's offer, returning to life with a new purpose and a new job.
And newfound ass-kicking ability.
Oh, yeah.
In his quest to beat the dog shit out of demonkind, Yusuke learned to harness Reiki, or spirit energy. He's ridiculously strong,
Yes.
fast, and durable, heals from wounds
Yes.
quickly, and can see spirits invisible to mortal men.
Even early on, Yusuke could parry Suzaku's lightning arrows, which are formed from real lightning called down from the sky.
Come on.
And with the help of legendary
That's where
warrior
the feats
Genkai,
play.
he mastered a signature move that could blast anyone to smithereens.
And
My favorite shonen move ever, the
Spirit
Spirit Gun.
Gun!
At first, Yusuke
Yes.
had a limited number of shots.
Guys, That inspired my move, my main move. It's the Wig's power outlet. It is 4 forms. I go planetary Wigs, and I split the freaking earth with that Wig's power. Because you know this stuff is unreal. And then I switch it up into galactic level Wigs, which is gonna fuck you up. And then I charge that bitch up, and universal Wigs, I shatter every reality branch, every single thing that can be considered a universe. That's the power of that attack. And the one previous to it, I shatter the observable universe because all of it is consistent of galaxies. And then planetary Wigs, all planets are absolutely obliterated. That's the power of a finger gun, a spirit gun, because it's also shattering all realms as well. And then I power it into my final form, fucking boundless Wigs power. That shit literally splits in half, calls upon all alien life. This shit literally obliterates a fractal. You know what a fractal is? It's a dot that's a part of a hyperstructure that consists of everything we'll ever know and all everythings they'll ever know. And it just obliterates that. So don't underestimate the power of a finger gun. Don't underestimate the power of it. A spirit gun is enough to just cut for a human and down to the spirit level. Yeah. And he's shooting his soul out of himself. That's me shooting my Wig's power out of myself. I'm shooting my soul at you. I'm literally putting my all into that attack. And it's obliterating you. And Ichigo loses. And not only that, he has a demon gun. He can channel a demonic energy through him, and it shoots out of him. He has a shotgun variant of this thing, and it just spreads that everywhere. He can just punch with it. He don't even have to shoot. He can just punch it. Oh, Twitter. Thanks, Twitter. And then he just has a wave of this shit that he can just unleash from his body. This is more inspiration to my character, because I have a second version of myself that's like cosmic, and it's basically shooting the energy, and it's reciprocating the energy, and it's even stronger, and it's a wave of this energy that obliterates all fractals and leaves the hyperstructure as the boundless void that contains all of those everythings that we'll ever know. And in case you don't know, that's how cosmology works. Anyway, which is the void that Jubilux resides in and watches all of us over. Anyway, that's deep, isn't it? I didn't say that. And lastly, he has a demon. He just transforms into a fucking demon. He reincarnates it, and possesses him, and he becomes it. Guys, Yusuke.
But eventually, he turned it into his personal WMD. Stronger than any weapon on Earth. He could go finger blasting around as much as he wants.
The spirit gun is more
That's how
versatile
it
than
goes.
it appears. Yusuke can bounce it off surfaces for sneak attacks.
I don't need a gun.
propel himself
I got
around
it in my
rocket in flight,
freaking
and
tips.
produce massive explosions with each shot.
He can twist it up for a spirit shotgun, a mighty AoE blast, or a spirit punch, where he keeps the energy stored in his fists and clobbers the hell out of you. And the spirit wave, a Kamehameha from before we uncultured Americans knew what a Kamehameha was.
I've always wanted to try out the
This is
spirit
so
gun,
old.
but it turns
It's
out
such an
it's
old
kind of hard to channel Reiki
I
through
don't
a
care
metal
about
arm.
this. I care about
Use
that.
the other one.
Aw, shit.
Channeling that shit.
Alright, I'm gonna go try this now.
Why is
Subscribe and
Ichigo
come back next time for the full
extreme?
battle between Yusuke and his opponent, Ichigo Kurosaki. Oh, I'm so excited for this.
I am too, because I know Yusuke is gonna win. And you know why? Because that is absolutely busted. Okay, you want to know the feat? If you haven't seen Sasuke versus Haie, the feat they used for Haie and why he won against Sasuke, who Sasuke literally has the same power outlet as like all Naruto characters. The reason Haie won is because he has this ridiculous feat where he clashed with just an ordinary guy, and the clash of their attacks basically exploded a floating island they were on and sent the energy from the blast all the way upward, vaporizing everything going above it. It split all of the weather above him and just broke every level, vaporizing everything above him to nothing. And they just lived. And it's right here. It's right here. Sasuke versus Aya. They have it on the side here. Dude. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, the whole package. And tune in tomorrow where Yusuke Urameshi wins. Until then, Wigs Gang, I'll catch you guys on the next video.